What a luck. All right. So thank you for inviting me. I'll have a presentation on the possibilities, what to do on the agricultural landscape. I do believe it is very much connected with the citizen science, because the topic is very much involving stakeholders in the countryside and also in the protected areas, which are which are very often managed by agriculture and by farmers, of course. So this is the presentation is aiming to give you provide you some taste how we can involve all those stakeholders in order to manage the landscape and the agricultural land in the not only in the protected areas more sustainably. I was invited as a vice chair of the IFOAM Organics Europe, but also this project is building on the knowledge I gained in this position, but I'm solving it under the head of Tomáš Baťa University in Zlín. So that's why there is also this credit below, and of course with other colleagues. Some of them are mentioned in the first slide. And the project team will be accredited or credited later on. So the general, before I'll get to the project itself, please let me give you some context why we actually thought that it may make sense to come to the owners of the agricultural land and talk to them about the way how they should be not only managing, because most of them are not managing their land on their own, but how they should be thinking of their ownership of the land and what they can do, for instance, with the tenures or leases of their land. So the context is that those numbers are for the Czech Republic, but they wouldn't be much different, I do believe, for the rest of the Central and Eastern European region, because we, at least the countries with the post-communist legacy, we share the same history. So if you look at the numbers below at the bottom part of the slide, this is just a few indication that in the Czech Republic, the acreage of the field increased by 10 times since 1950s, when the collectivization of the agricultural land happened. Since then, we lost 4,000 kilometers of the alleys and 3,600 hectares of the scattered greenery, which is 1% of the agricultural land before in the Czech Republic. So 50 or 60 years ago, or actually 70, but never mind, still not very long time ago, there was 1% of the agricultural land was covered by the greenery. Nowadays is less than 0.01%. That's 0.1%. Sorry. So this is absolutely crazy that we decrease the coverage of this scattered greenery on the fields again by 10 times. At the same time, we lost 49,000 kilometers of field boundaries, which are important ecotons of the for the muted. I hope Matthias is not. I did not muted me on purpose. So I'm going further. At this context, all those, let's say, important landscape structures, they behave as they contribute to the biodiversity. Of course, you know, they behave as the water capacity storage. They prevent erosion. They prevent dust distribution, and of course, they are important landscape features. And at the same time, we are facing the climate change with less rainy days, but faster drainage and drought. But despite we have the same amount of water coming from the due to the precipitation, this water is less equally distributed over the years, and that's why we are facing drought again. So this is the setting which we are in and which we thought that our project could contribute to. If I go for the second slide, or for the third slide, again, the situation in Czech Republic is as follows. There is 16% of the area of the country is covered by the protected areas. They are relatively well managed. They are, let's say, relatively healthy. But if we look at the right side of the slide, we see that 53% of the area of the Czech Republic is covered by agricultural land, and most of it is arable land, and most of this arable land looks like as you can see at the picture. So there is a huge space to contribute to all those challenges I mentioned at the slide before, because this is just a mass of the land we should care of. Last context slide, and then I'll go to the project itself. There is a soil retention capacity of our soil is at 53%. 1 cubic meter of the soil in the fertile soil on the south of the Czech Republic can hold 400 liters, while nowadays it holds only 200 liters. So when you are listening to those talks that we need a new water dams to keep and carry the water, you can always answer that actually in the soil we can hold twice as much as water as we hold today, and this problem will be solved. Of course, I'm not talking about the drinking water, but the water for irrigation. We lose the biodiversity, which we can see on this index of the field birds on the top right part of the slide. Most of the Czech land is endangered by erosion and compaction, and 50% of the underground wells are contaminated by the above limit concentration of 1 or even more pesticides, synthetic pesticides used in agriculture. So this is the context, and in this context, this project team decided to contribute to the improvement. There is 7 institutions, 3 universities, 2 research institutions, 1 farmers union, and 1 private company, which set these goals. As you can see, this slide is not very inspirative, but basically the project has 3 important pillars. We talk to the individual land owners, we talk to the municipalities which are owning the land, and we also talk to the farmers. Each of those groups we approach differently. For the what is it doing? Sorry. We choose, and I'll explain how we talk to those groups. We chose 3 regions in the south of the Czech Republic, in close to the most in the, it doesn't matter, in south of the Czech Republic. They should be generalized as in their geographical and climate and historical condition as somehow representing the complete picture of the Czech Republic. I'll not go much into the detail, but we spent quite a lot of time in order to be able to provide the general results as well, not only results being applied for those 3 regions. And for the owners, we interviewed quite a few owners in total. There is almost 500 questionnaires, which represents 13% of the land owners of in those regions, which we think, and according to the sociological research, this is well representative. I'm not going to go into the details of the structure of the respondents, of course, but I'm only saying that this structure somehow represents the structure of the owners and the people living in that area. So again, we think it is representative. And I'll go directly to what we learned. Then first is the reason why they own the farmland, and we decided to group those people into the below 50 years age and above 50 years age. You see that when you're getting older, you're more tied to the family tradition, while when you are younger, you see it more as a good long-term investment. Because you will live longer than when you are 50 years. So you could look at it. You could watch to the future, while when you get older, you watch back to the history. But in general, the results do not differ very much. But what differs is I'm just giving the selection of the answers, and you can see that people they really attribute the effect of the climate change to the drought. This is the last row, and also the warming and the heat waves. This is something that people really can see in their real life. And for the yeah, I don't think I'll have to go into detail on the next slide. And we also asked them who they think should solve this problem related to the climate change on the farmland. And by far, they think it should be governments and ministries, but also the farmers. And that is important, because if they think the farmers should solve it, they could also apply their demands, how the farmers should manage their land. Okay, let's go for the next one. Somehow stop. Yes. There is the chart of, and I can see I'm running out of time probably. Matthias, still when I have?
We are a few minutes late, but it's okay. You can continue.
Okay, so you tell me when I have last 3 minutes. All right.
All right.
Good.
3 minutes.
So you on this? Sorry, 2 minutes.
No, it's okay. 5 minutes more.
Okay, good. So on this slide, you can see the most important answers. What would be the most affecting addressing this issue? And again, they don't very much see that they have it, the people, they have it in their hands, the landowners. They see that it is something what should come from the ministries, targeted funding policies, political decisions. But there is a good farming, and this is a promising answer because we want to build on it. I'm afraid I will not have, I cannot go into the detail, but that was not the aim. I'll just pick some interesting answer which the people agree the most. And the question was why they actually own the land. And you see that this is not important. I'll not go into details if I have only 5 minutes. But in general, to conclude, and sorry for this rush, in general, to conclude the results from the questionnaire of the with the landowners, we can say that the landowners, they feel that the land is to own the land is something valuable. They should be thinking who they are leasing the land to, and but they don't have enough time. They think this should come from the ministries and governmental decisions to help them with the sustainable management. And aim of the project is actually to show the landowners that they could demand to the farmers better management practices. We did also the interviews with the municipalities. In total, we have interviewed 29 mayors, and from their point of view, they keep it's quite similar to the individual landowners, because they feel it is responsible to own the land, and that the land should be managed sustainably. They see the land as the opportunity to actually provide environmental services to the people living in the villages and the cities. And they see it as the strategic future resource for the village, not only for the construction of the new houses, but also with relation to the climate change. But again, as the incomes from the owned farmland by the municipalities presents a very little share of the budget of this village or the municipality, the priority to do something about it is quite low. It is, you have to find a very, let's say, interested mayor to be able to start changing the practices on the municipal land. So they, the most important when you are talking to the mayors were the flash floods issue. They could see that this is something what is touching the municipality very heavily. If the municipality experience the flash floods, they start to think how they could manage the land around the city or village, and this is like let's say a trigger of change for renewal of the tenure agreements with the farmers and starts of the negotiating. So this is something which is, well, the flash floods are not positive, but this is something to build on. And we do believe, as I could show at the beginning of the presentation, as the drought is becoming more and more issue, this trajectory will be taken also in the municipalities which are not facing the flash floods, and this could be followed as a good practice example. Right. Let me conclude. We also did interviews with the farmers, and in general, yes, in general, they agreed that the owner has the right to demand different farming practices, but they do think that the owners and the municipalities, they don't understand the farming, and thus the demands should be limited to what is feasible, which is probably the biggest, say, clash in the understanding, because I'm always saying that if you are building a house, you also give to the to the people who are constructing the house the project, and this should be same with the agricultural land. You have the project, you know what to do on that land, but you don't have the means how to do it. But the means have the farmer who is renting the land, and should follow this instruction, regardless if it's organic farming or creating the new alleys or hedges, using or grassing and places which are too steep in order to prevent erosion, and so on and so on. So I think I will. Sorry, now the presentation is doing something, I don't know. I think I should stop here, And I thank you for your attention. I'm sorry for this rushy style. My presentation was too long, and obviously I was not well prepared for 20 minutes talk. So I hope I can complement the picture in the following discussion.